Quando o sol começava a esconder-se, a yama oficial com o número 3 de Morrison Maye Mackenzie, obrigado a uma curta intervenção dos mecânicos, perdia 2 lugares, passando a ocupar a 7ª posição. Entre os primeiros, destaque para a Suzuki número 1, que baixava para o 3º lugar por troca com a Kawasaki número 10. A luta entre as duas motos oficiais estava ao rubro, apenas 8 segundos as separavam. Mas Jean Dorjex mantinha a boa disposição.
Welcome back to the 22nd Bol d'Or down here at the Paul Ricard circuit in the south of France. No problems with the weather. As you can see, the sky is absolutely cleared. A little bit of mist out there, but that's standard for this time of the day. We're just coming onto lights on time. As you can see, the bikes have got their lights on, and it's getting quite dark out there. Now, the story of what's been happening so far is the Honda is way out in front. There's your leader currently, but the man who was chasing him, and one of the people who was destined to do fairly well here, in his own words, Steve Hislop, was on the bike after about 3 hours, was braking for a corner, then got absolutely no drive as he came out of the corner. The bike was wheeled back into the pits, and they discovered that a valve had dropped inside the engine. They took the entire engine out, changed the entire top end and pistons, put it all back, but he's lost 50 minutes by that, and Steve Hislop's chances of the championship here, but it's number 111, which is running in the front at the moment. Joining me in the studio is the team manager of Phase 1 M&P Suzuki, Russell Benny. Now, Russell, you've noticed a couple of problems apart from the top runners. A lot of the runners here are running Dunlops and Michelins.
At the moment, in the high temperatures, the track temperature is just going off now. We've had up to 30 degrees C or so this afternoon. The Dunlops have been having some problems, which is unusual because usually it's a flexible tyre that's very adaptable to high and low temperatures. So it's caught us all by surprise. Michelin's are predominant at the moment, but as the lower temperatures come this evening, I think we might see a change.
And that's been shown by the second Kawasaki, the number 10 Kawasaki, which is in second place at the moment. And that's Lavier Reimer, that's Garnato Corbiajo and Steve Plater. And they put in the fastest lap so far, and they are now in second place, having taken second place there. That's Bertrand Stay, Gomez and Philippe. But what you're looking at the moment is a race being led by a Honda which hasn't got a chance of the championship overall. Terry Reimer is the man, that's the man who has the biggest chance of the championship. That bike has got to keep running for Terry Reimer to take this championship here. Now, this is what he's been concentrating on all year, to take the Endurance Championship. But also, in third place behind him is Bruno Bonoy. Now, Bonoy wasn't slated to ride until we saw on one of the timing sheets that he is actually riding for the Shell Suzuki team, which means that he will get points.
Freelance rider, he's ridden for us this year at Oschersleben to 7th place. He ran with Shell at Spa to first place, and he got some points at Le Mans as well. So that private rider is threatening the official factory Suzuki team.
There's got to be some politics going on here, but nonetheless, it will be Suzuki who will have a world champion out of this.
Provided either the Reimer bike finishes or the Shell Suzuki Portugal bike finishes.
And remember, Johan Dorjex is there on 72 points alongside Reimer, so he will benefit from this as well. But that's a lot of different things have been happening down here. The Honda, great, it's out in front, it's wonderful, marvellous for the riders out there. Eric Bostrom, Jim Moody's doing very well with this, Sebastian Gimbert, but they are not a factor in the championship. The championship is all down to Terry Reimer, currently circulating. Where's Terry at the moment? He's in third place. We have two different sheets here. We've got the readout that we have on the screens, which means it's just been passed by the number 10 Kawasaki, which is Garnato Corbiajo and Steve Plater. But the one thing we don't have are lap times. I've been pressing the buttons on the television to get lap times to find out who is actually chasing. You're looking at the number 10 machine at the moment. That's Erka Corbiajo. Even a pace car out at one point while we were away. It's not too long ago, actually. It's about an hour and a half ago. Pace car was out on the track because one of the R1s, the stock sport machines, were out there. The Yamaha R1s are running, I must remind everybody, running slicks, which has upset her, which has twisted a few moustaches in the pits here, but and the R1s are quick, but this one blew up. I think it was at the end of the Mistral.
Yes, it was, Clive. That's right. These R1s are really mucking things up a bit this year because they're so quick out the crate, basically, that they can compete with superbikes. And at Oschersleben 2 or 3 weeks ago, when the first German round was held for 10 years, and with the Flamini group getting hold of it next year, it's destined to be really, really good.
You had Steve Hislop riding with Team Guillaume. You have Bruno Bonnet, who was riding with Phase 1 with your team. So basically, if Bruno actually takes his championship, you can claim a piece of World Championship status.
Yeah, I guess so. Oschersleben was good for us. We finished 7th with Bruno on board. It was a satisfactory race. What happened was the works teams entered a pact and all decided not to go, but they put a rider, one of their riders from each team, on one of the leading private bikes. We had Bruno. It was like, they brought back memories of endurance 10 years ago, like an international club race almost. And Hislop jumped off 3 times in the first 2 hours. That didn't do his rotation much good. But it was, yes, real scrap.
Also been out on different machines. I mean, Bruno Bonnet's been even riding the Chinese bike at Suzuka, so I understand.
Yeah, the Chinese, it's lovely that the Chinese are investing in our championship, I guess. They've fielded a team all this year. They haven't done too well, but one must recognise they have little experience, and they're investing in French experience. So they've got a French team there. It's lovely to see them, they're doing well.
But still, down here at the Vol d'Or, the Honda leads. Not strictly a works team.
No, you're absolutely right, Clive. They've been around years. They're a leading dealer team. They've got close works associations, or French Honda works associations. And they've been favoured with the odd good bit now and then. But they're a competent lot, they really are.
They've got serious good bits. Bertrand Stay, Gomez and Philippe on the number 2 machine in 5th place. Brian Morrison, Eric Mahe and Neil McKenzie in 6th place. So that the Yamaha has been gradually working its way up from just a basic fault, which was a puncture. But it did take them about 50 or 60 seconds down on that just to change the puncture. Because the pit straight is very long, and they've been very tight on the pit lane, on speeding down the pit lane, because I've seen so many people being brought in for 10-second penalty stops. So the number 3 Yamaha in 6th place. In 7th place is Christophe Guillaume, Dosage and Courtel. This is the GMT 94 team, possibly another one of your rivals.
Yes, they are. They're notables. They're the guys on Pirellis, so they're the lead outfit there. The bike is pretty competitive with our own. I think Guillaume's... There are 3 or 4 of us. There's Guillaume, there's Motorshop 35, there's ourselves, and there's Schultz Suzuki. And we're all around the same speed. We all did around 2 minutes flat in qualifying.
And showed him that not only the fastest lap out there, but a record lap at that. But talking about Guillaume Motors 94 and Motorshop 35. Motorshop 35 in 8th place at the moment, and the Shell Suzuki team in 9th place. And you class the Shell Suzuki team as your main real aiming point, your main competitors.
Yeah, so all year we've been dicing one way or the other with them. We beat them in Oschersleben, they beat us at Spa. But in qualifying, there's never anything between us.
Now, Russell, I must say that the MP...
Then Reese got on board and promptly fell off. Tony lost us about 4 or 5 laps without any injury to himself, I'm glad to say. We quickly got back going again, new fairing on, new footrests, new this and that.
But this crash would have affected other things on the bike, wouldn't it?
Well, it would, but I hope we haven't got anything to haunt us later.
Well, there was the exhaust.
We've looked up, well, a cracked exhaust hit us a little bit later after 3.5 hours. Nevertheless, we're in 17th place now, and we're coming back up the rate of maybe 1 or 2 places.
Now, I might be pulling your leg a little bit here, because at one time you were down in the 40s, and that is a big jump to come up there.
You're rubbing it in now, Clive, but we're coming back to a fair old pace, and I'll be pleased when we're in the top 15 in the points, which ought to happen in the next hour, barring problems. But look, we've got to go past. We've got to go past the leading Swiss outfit, Bolligen Motors.
Bolligen Motors in 14th place at the moment.
Yep, National Motors. They've been around years and years and years. They must have been going for 20 years.
And in 10th place at the moment I do believe it's one of the Yamaha R1s, which has been a nemesis of the privateers this season, and at certain places, a nemesis of the works teams as well.
Yep, they're fit to embarrass. And then in ninth place, you've got the Shell Portugal outfit. So Bruno slipped a place now, which won't do his chances too much good. So he was running 8th some half an hour ago.
So what you're looking at is Terry Reimer doing what he wanted to do all season. Concentrates on the Endurance Racing Championship in 2nd place and still only 1 lap down on the Honda. And it's been like that for quite a few hours now. The number 111 Honda. Russell, why 111?
Good question. It's probably the answer. The answer is the question you've just given me. It's pretty good for publicity. The number 1 plate is with Suzuki, of course, from last year. So maybe they think that's the next best.
Borrowed something from World Superbikes, I would imagine.
Yes, maybe.
We've also seen some graphic illustrations of the works bikes going past some of the extremely slow bikes, and I also saw that we have the Super Sports out there, which are the 600s, and one of the 600 machines having an engine blow up, and the man trying to get it back to the pits. Trailing smoke everywhere, everybody trying to avoid him, and it was just a matter of time before he went down. So there's you've got some extremely experienced riders out there, but you've got some extremely inexperienced ones as well. And now we're going into the night time. Does this cause you, would this cause many of the team's problems, Russell?
Well, the problems occur with the riders that have just got off an hour ago, who'll be going back out into pitch black. The ones that are on there now are not too bad because they've seen through dusk and they've adapted to it quite well. Most riders can do it quite easily. The one I'd be worried about is Jim Moody. Chatting to him in the paddock two nights ago, he was by no means certain how he was getting on eyesight-wise overnight.
I see. So we'll have to watch out whether Jim Moody can find his way around the track here at the Bull. Number 111 in for rider change. Pit stops averaging out around about 45 to 50 minutes here, Russell.
45 to 50 seconds.
No, minutes.
Oh, for us, it's 45, 48 minutes, something like that. I guess that's typical.
We also saw number 11 out on the track, the Kawasaki, with Steve Hislop on board. Now, when Steve brought it in after dropping a valve, to say his face fell would be to put it mildly. He was really crushed that this had happened, and before the race I was listening to them, and I've heard it maybe 5 or 6 times in the pits. You know, 14,500 revs, 14.5. Don't take it above 14.5. Steve Hislop lost I won't say he lost his motivation, but he did for about 5 seconds there, and then he saw them putting it all back together, knew he had a chance to get back up, and he's out there on the bike and doing what Steve Hislop does best, throwing the thing around the track. But saying that, there were problems that Steve Hislop had setting the bike up. First of all, he set the bike up in practice perfectly. He was talking to me. They said they sent that's the number 10 Kawasaki you're looking at the moment, lying in 3rd place. And on board with them, it's Sebastian Scarnata. But back to Steve Hislop. He said he set the suspension up. They sent the suspension off to be serviced by the French engineers, got it back, and it was all over the place again. And so the number 10 bike has been set up by Steve Hislop's riding, but he's unfortunately riding the number 11 machine. About 18 seconds. He's 18 seconds behind the number 111 Honda at the moment. Kawasaki right behind him. And we could be, if you look at the screens here, you're looking at pit stops, quite possibly. And, well, we're not looking at a pit stop here, we're looking at somebody in the pits. Perfect. But some of the times when we look at the Infinity team, it's a Yamaha R1 Stock Sport. And Russell, you were telling me about these numbers that they've got on there, these electronic strips. There isn't a light behind those numbers on the bike, is there?
No, it's a sort of electrofluorescent stuff. It's a pad, and you cut it out into the number shape that you require and feed it with some voltage, and off it goes. It's nice and reliable and very effective.
Could be a new fashion item on the street.
I don't know about that, but the timekeepers certainly like it, because one of the big hardships at night is identifying your bike and
Kawasaki 900s out there.
Yeah, you can get some problems from different abilities and different speeds. This is not the worst circuit for that. Le Mans is particularly bad.
Why would you say Le Mans in particular?
Well, because the corner distance ratio is so much in favour of corner.
Also, it's mainly corners that cause the problems because the bikes are very fast in a straight line, but as Chris Walker was saying, at Le Mans, the tracks can be filled with Chumleys at times, and when you come up to a corner, the people who do this for a living, basically, get up to a corner, and they are going seriously fast around the corner, and the people who don't, it's nice to have them in there. But it's the Elf Honda, another Honda top and bottom here. It's the Elf Honda number 111, which is currently leading. The number 1 Suzuki, Terry Reimer on board, is in second place. And the number 10 Kawasaki machine in third place, with Sebastian Scarnato, Corbiajo and Steve Plater, the fastest man out there. At least the fastest man out there during practice. Unfortunately, unable to get lap times at the moment on our screen, and saying that, our screen has gone dead, so, so we couldn't give you anything else other than that. So not very easy to tell you who's going fast out there, just by who they're going to take and where their position is. Carries on along with Superbikes all the way through tomorrow. Join us then.